you F-I-S-H-E-R?
No, F-I-S-C-H-E-R.
Okay. And just go ahead and tell us your name and spell it for us, just so we've got it.
Okay, sure. It's Bill Fischer, F-I-S-C-H-E-R, Vice President for Student Development at the University of Dayton.
So Bill, tell us what the university is doing today following yesterday's disturbance.
Sure. We are obviously taking a comprehensive review of all of the various options to consider in moving forward for future St. Patrick's Day events.
And what would that include?
Anywhere from strengthening our guest policy to reviewing the academic calendar. It runs the gamut.
Would that mean that you could potentially move spring break back to where it was before, where it would include St. Patrick's Day?
That's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Simply to be able to have a break, so that students can be on spring break and go home and celebrate at home.
Okay. Is there a reaction that you guys have to all of this? Disappointment, frustration?
Significant disappointment. The behavior with regard to that incident was deplorable, unacceptable, and any student that is identified as having been involved in that particular incident will be met with swift disciplinary action.
Are there any that are facing disciplinary action right now?
Yes, we have approximately 45 students who have been referred, not necessarily for that particular incident, throughout the day for behaviors such as underage possession of alcohol, to disorderly behavior, failure to comply, etc. That public safety has referred to the student conduct system for disciplinary action. And right now that number is approximately 45.
And do we know what the consequences are for any of this?
Yeah, the consequences range anywhere from a warning to disciplinary probation up through and including suspension or even dismissal, depending upon the nature and the magnitude of the behavior.
Okay. We understand that some arrests have been made, 7, is that correct?
To the best of my knowledge, approximately 7 individuals were arrested, physically arrested, and none of them were UD students.
Do we know about what they're facing?
I do not.
What it was on?
I do
Okay.
not, no.
From going from here, we know that students have been involved in some disturbances, whether it's been on campus. We had the gas station incident that happened a few months ago, last year with the Daytona situation with students. Is there anything that the university can do to step in to clear out some of this history and be moving forward in a positive direction?
We continue to reinforce our students of our expectations of their behavior, what it means to live responsibly in our community, and in terms of how we define community, which is to maintain and uphold a positive and productive learning and living environment, whether that be on our campus or whether that be off our campus. And we continue to reinforce that through various messages all throughout the year, through our Commitments to Community document that many students have. All of our students have available to them.
Of the 45, you said you're not sure exactly how many would be associated just with that disturbance. I mean, it was throughout the day, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and
throughout the day.
Could there be more added to that? I mean, do you guys look at video of this? I mean, is there even go into that depth? Or?
Sure. If we become aware of film or video that may have particular students that we can identify that may have been involved in behavior that is unacceptable, then certainly we would identify those students and hold them accountable.
Would there be any policy changes in student conduct as far as parties that happened on campus property, at housing, a curfew, anything? I mean, is everything kind of on the table right now as far as what you're looking at?
As I said before, everything is on the table by way of options to consider moving forward. And at this particular moment, I would be conjecturing as to exactly what it is, what it is that we're going to do moving forward. But obviously, we take this very seriously.
What about? I mean, you mentioned for next year's St. Patrick's Day. What about like as soon as this weekend? I mean, is there anything students are going to see different? I mean, would there be more police out this weekend just in case, or?
The police coverage, the public safety coverage, and the coverage that we have through our residence life staff will certainly remain the same. Typically, if we're aware of something that we're expecting to happen, maybe some type of celebration, we always anticipate that and we prepare appropriately.
But no changes otherwise for this weekend compared
Not
to
that
what
I'm
you
not that
normally
I'm
do.
seeing
Okay.
now, unless I'm hearing that there's going to be some, activity in the neighborhood that that we wouldn't anticipate. And as I said, this behavior is not typical of the majority of our student population. And in fact, most of our students on this campus celebrated quite responsibly. We had a variety of UD-sponsored events that we had on campus. From cookouts, we had 3 cookout stations, or 2 cookout stations. We served over 5,000 hot dogs. We served over 4,000 individual slices of pizza. And I was out here all day and into the evening, and can say, by and large, that our students were responsible.
From what we've heard, that some of the people that came to Key Faber yesterday, high schoolers or whatnot, came because they had heard UD is a party school, and that UD would have a good party for St. Patrick's Day. Is there anything that the university is doing to try to change that reputation and get UD out of the party school light?
We are always looking at ways to reinforce our messaging around acting responsibly in community, being good community members, and what that means in terms of respecting self, respecting others, and just being responsible community members.
We heard university leaders are going to be meeting later this week to talk about this. That's what I had heard?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
When do you think a decision might come? A time frame? Are we talking weeks, months, or?
Well, we are gathering. We are meeting. When you say this week, I don't have a definite day or time, but certainly we are moving on this, and we are evaluating the situation, and so that will be a situation that's evaluated involving the entire university community. So representing students, representing faculty, and representing staff. I will say that we have a number of students that are very disappointed as well with the behavior and want to be very proactive and help the administration in coming, to some good solutions.
But time frame? Was there any weeks or months?
Don't have any timetable, but I would say certainly over the next week and over the course of the next few months.
Any response from parents that you guys are dealing with, calls, if parents do have questions or concerns?
We had some parents who have called and have offered to assist. We had a lot of support from parents. We sent out letters to parents in advance of this and had a lot of good support from parents, reminding parents to have conversations with their students about being responsible. And so by and large, that's the response that we had.
Okay. Anything else?
Anything we're missing that we didn't ask about?
I mean, we're talking about everything's on the table. Curfew, even considering having UD a dry campus, I mean, that's been thrown out there.
As I said, we're exploring all reasonable options
Okay.
in the future.
Okay. But nothing's been defined just yet.
No.